My father-in-law locked my 7-year-old son out on the porch in 38-degree rain because the boy cried during a football game. We were 40 minutes away when my phone rang, and it was not a grown-up calling. It was my son on the tablet he uses for games whispering, "Mom, Grandpa says I can't come in until I stop being a baby." Sunday dinners at my in-laws had been the routine for 6 years. My husband, Derek, grew up in that house under a man who has one setting, drill sergeant, and one philosophy, that softness is a defect you can shout out of a child. Derek survived it by going quiet, which the family record calls being raised right. Our son Oliver is not quiet. He is a kid who feels everything at full volume, cries at movie endings, keeps a funeral jar for beetles he finds already dead on the windowsill. He is, and I will not be argued out of this word, kind. That Sunday, Derek and I had a wedding to attend, so Oliver stayed with his grandparents. The football game mattered to my father-in-law, the way football games matter to men who have nothing else that answers when they knock. His team lost badly. Oliver, from what we later assembled, cried, not about the game, but because Grandpa's yelling at the television scared him, and crying in that living room is a citation. Grandpa announced that boys who cry watch from outside, walked him to the porch, and turned the deadbolt on a first grader. My mother-in-law said, and this is the sentence I keep returning to, well, he was under the porch roof mostly. The tablet call came at 4:52. By 4:55 Derek was driving faster than I have ever seen him drive, silent in the way that is worse than shouting, and I was on the phone with the neighbor across the street, a retired nurse named Colleen who I will love until I die. She walked over in the rain, took one look at a soaked, shaking 7-year-old, and did not knock on that door. She took him into her house, wrapped him in towels, made cocoa, and stayed on the phone with me narrating his condition like the professional she is. Cold, scared, lips a little blue, warming up fine, asking if he's in trouble. He asked if he was in trouble. When we pulled up, my father-in-law came out on the porch, arms crossed, and had the spectacular poor judgment to open with, "Before you overreact." I did not overreact. I underreacted, historically. I walked past him without a word, thanked Colleen, buckled my son into the car, and sat with him while Derek went back to the porch. My husband, the quiet one, the one who went along to get along for 38 years, stood in the rain and told his father that he had spent his whole childhood learning how to stop crying and it had cost him 20 years of learning how to start again, and that his son would not be paying the same bill. Then he said the sentence that ended 6 years of Sunday dinners: "You will see him again when he asks to see you, and not one day before." The campaign that followed was as predictable as weather. Aunts calling about forgiveness. My mother-in-law explaining that Grandpa loves in his own way. An uncle informing Derek that this is why kids today are soft. Derek answered every one of them with the same calm line. He locked a 7-year-old outside in the rain, and let the silence do the arithmetic. Oliver got a cold and got over it. The other thing took longer. For weeks he asked whether crying at things meant something was wrong with him, and we did the slow work of putting that idea in the ground where it belongs. His pediatrician recommended a counselor who specializes in exactly this, and the counselor taught us a phrase Oliver still uses at 9. My feelings fit in this family. 14 months later, my father-in-law asked, through Derek's sister, what it would take. Derek sent back 3 conditions. He apologizes to Oliver, not to us. He says the words "I was wrong" unmodified, and he goes to one appointment with a counselor first to learn what he is apologizing for. We were told he called the conditions ridiculous. So Sundays are ours now. Pancakes, cartoons, beetle funerals as required. Oliver cried at a movie last month at the part where the old dog finds his way home, and Derek cried at it too on purpose right where his son could see him. Some men break the chain loudly. Mine did it in 38-degree rain, in a voice barely above a whisper, and I have never heard anything louder.